Hello, everyone. Welcome back to MGSR Legacy, Episode 3. That was an excellent run we just watched by Slade, Metal Gear Solid 1 All Bosses, and now we're going to watch a run by Iceman. We've had a little bit of difficulty setting up the RTMP backend, and we're going to have to go with a little solution that we've got for this one. So I may have to just fix some problems on the fly here, but I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah, the downside to living 12,000 kilometers away is connecting to a server on the other end is not too easy.
Yeah, I'm just going to fix the video.
Unfortunate drawback.
Let's have a look what that looks like. I'm just like cropping it on the stream at the same time, but
There you go.
that
Here
looks
on
alright, right?
Legacy, we make it work.
That's perfect.
Alright,
Nothing gets in our way.
just give me a countdown when you're gonna start, and I'll start the timer for you.
Yeah, too easy. I'll just quickly mention for everyone, if you do run Integral, the English swapping the language to English is just a fraction quicker. So don't forget to do that. On go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Best
Good
of luck,
luck, good luck.
Iceman.
Yeah, let's hope this goes well.
Give us a lovely performance.
I have no doubts, and I just want to let you know that episode 1 and 2 of Legacy, the modern day runs were ridiculously fast, so following in the footsteps of giants.
You have got the Legacy blessing.
Oh, I forgot the alternate round. Sorry, my bad. I'm not used to. I got to restart.
Oh, no worries.
No worries,
Yeah.
man. That was a great run.
Technical.
7 seconds.
Didn't count because it was alternate round.
It was a toughie. It takes me to reboot.
Alternate round's tough. You start it and then go, oh crap, I'm on alternate round. Whoops.
Yeah, recently in the MGSR relay, we had like multiple false starts because of things like alternate round, and we were on the PC version of the game. It was crazy. There was like 3 restarts back to back.
Alrighty.
All right.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
Best of luck, and we are kind of bouncing the
good
audio on the
luck.
fly. So if anyone in the chat could let us know how it sounds, and we're doing our best. We've come up with a little bit of a solution in the background here. So
The hardest part of running this game is forgetting about alternate round.
Even more so, like playing the United States version. I'm like, oh, you don't even have to worry about that.
Yeah. Yeah, because you got out of there, and then when the alert went off, I was like, what? Oh, right. Alternate round is the thing. I totally forgot about it. So yeah, here during the docks, this is pretty much just on a timer. We just have to wait until that elevator starts coming down. So it's a nice, relaxing start. Although for a run like this, some people would rather just get straight to the hard stuff.
I wish they had this kind of bit of a downtime later on, just so you could relax in between a section, but not have it too long either. Just nice, maybe in between the Hind D fight and Sniper Wolf, just a bit of a breather.
Yeah.
I think
A lot of the other games get those breathers.
I've ran, MGS 1, 2, and 3, and personally for me, I find 1 the hardest. I find 1 like a very challenging game, to be honest with you.
1 is tough. Tricky game.
Yeah, and I feel like the limited controls as well really add to that too. Not being able to do first-person maneuvers and shoot around walls and stuff.
Yeah. Definitely can make things a little bit more difficult.
Hmm. So Thankfully, you can just stand in this one spot the entire time. The elevator's about to come down as soon as this guard turns.
It's just another area of the game that absolutely triggers my nostalgia is when that elevator comes down and you get the cutscene.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Nice.
I didn't know you could kick him.
You can also cause an alert there. If you're trying to farm alerts in the docks, you can cause that guard to alert you as the elevator sets off. It's kind of a tricky one because if you mistime it, obviously the elevator won't go on an alert.
I love those little, just those tiny things that you should never do, but they're so good looking when you do them.
Yeah, that kick is stylish.
I'll try and pull one off later on my way through the nuclear storage building. There's a guard who I'll alert with a chaff grenade, and he will turn and face me for like half a second, but not spot me. It's great fun to look at.
Did you say he's better at his job or worse at his job than the infamous Canyon Guard in MGS3?
Oh, he's up there. I reckon he's his brother, pretty much.
They're closely related, those two.
Something worth saying that's different from Slade's run is taking that alert on the helipad. You are at risk of dying because your life bar is so low at this stage of the game, right?
Yeah, it's a
like,
2-hit kill there.
Yeah. But obviously because he's skipping that Johnny alert in the cell later, he can take an alert there.
It was a bit unfortunate I got shot there. It's going to make this cell fight a little bit tougher, but hopefully we won't have too many issues there.
Yeah, it's a very punishing game, but particularly at the beginning.
The introduction to this run is scary, for sure. A lot of other games have, some have relaxed intros. I would say, even on European Extreme, I say MGS3 is a nice relaxed intro before the real game begins, but here it's like...
What was that noise?
Really?
The relaxing part is before all the dangerous stuff. Oof.
Extremely tough for him.
Yeah, that's difficult. You have to make sure your timing is just right on that grenade throw. Thankfully, though, you don't have to crawl through the whole vent again.
And because of that, the guards are in different spots, so you can just run straight there too.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a pain, but upsetting. I'll be spewing if I get to the end and it's like big boss rank with 1 death. Or eagle rank, but...
It is worth saying that, like, Iceman, this isn't the time you would normally play at the game at, to be fair, right? What time is it for you right now?
10 AM.
10 AM, and he's been up since 6 doing this, so massive thanks for coming on the show.
Yes.
Your insight was, more valuable than we could have hoped for. And we appreciate that you haven't slept either and running this game at a ridiculous hour, so don't sweat it at all, mate.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me as well. Like, I do enjoy all the stuff that everyone contributes, the Discord, people's streams, and even, having this channel and doing these legacy things. They're really good fun for everyone. So it's great to be here.
Yeah, the fun part of Legacy is we get to watch old runs, and everyone gets to arm themselves with new knowledge. Whether it's fast or not, but, you get some new knowledge.
Yeah, I think we've done 3 of these shows now, and every time after the show, me and Minnie will just message about like all the different runs we can do next. I think that's something I've always appreciated about you, is that you're always down to talk about like nostalgic fast speed runs. So yeah, doing this show in general has just been so enjoyable.
It's fun to see what back in the day was considered optimal, or what the fastest strategies were. It's always nice to see. So again, like Iceman mentioned, is that on Integral, when you pick up the SOCOM, it does not automatically get equipped, but it does on US.
Don't talk to me like a rookie.
A very strange difference.
There are some menu manipulations being explored now in MGS1, right? When you empty certain guns, it will put your previous as a different weapon. I don't know too much about it myself, but it's really useful in any percent where you want to save like every menu.
Didn't really fully hear that. Sorry, I was just focusing on killing the guards. I'll be honest.
I understand this room was really, really tough. So.
We're all cooperating a little bit. Always nice to see.
Real helpful. Gotta love her.
When she's helpful, of course.
It's great, you know, in one you're hoping for the support of Meryl to do different things, and then in 3 you're hoping for the support of Eva during the driving section, and in 2 Emma does nothing. Emma does nothing but pin to you.
So what was that you were saying earlier during that fight, sorry?
Yeah, so there's being explored recently is like menu manipulations where you empty one item and then it puts a different item on your previous so you can instantly equip it. I've seen a lot of that in any percent easy.
Yeah, so like a funny thing you can do at the very start of the game is manipulate the memory. If you already had, let's say, the card equipped here in the SOCOM, died, and then went to the main menu, and then started another load or new game, you can use the instant buttons, the R1 and L1, to instantly equip those weapons again, as the game still has them in the memory from last previously used. And you can also, I don't know why I swapped that early, you can also get rid of the C4 by using its final one here, or like the last C4 you've got. Sorry, mate. And you can remove it from your inventory, minimizing the amount of things you have to traverse through to get to your next weapon.
I love the reason.
Really nice fight.
Oh, almost got the SOCOM ammo. That was a very good fight. That was incredible.
Nice and clean. I love it. So yeah, that's that ammunition that I mentioned that I pick up halfway through the run, or fight, sorry. Because then as I run south here, I should be able to pick up that one that I just missed as well.
Although we now know it respawns if you grab it during the fight.
It really is amazing what you'll pick up when you really focus and analyze old runs. And not just like from the best players, from anyone. You'd be amazed what people come up with.
Yeah, like I've never actually watched that version of Slade's before, the 138.36. I've only ever watched his 138.56, I think it is. And there's so many more strats that he now does in that one that we watched today, as opposed to his old one, which kind of like align with the modern stuff we do today. A lot of it's very similar.
Yeah, that run was done right around the time when some of the strats were starting to get updated and changed from what they had been for a while. So of course, as per usual, we're going to not bother with the lasers. We're just gonna go around them, the vent clip.
Beautifully. And just for safety's sake, I'm chucking the ration on, because this tank it's something else. It really is.
Yep. You don't want to know what would happen to his health if he got hit by a missile at this point.
Oh.
Very nice, very clean. See how you like this.
Oh, I just missed it.
Beautiful. Very nice fight.
It can't be like overstated how ridiculously hard that fight is.
Yes, the Sank is very difficult. You saw it twice now get executed perfectly, but it's just like, it's so difficult.
Yeah, the slightest. Can't. Again, it's one of those things where it just feels like it from my experience, but I can't prove it. But I feel like the tank is dependent on where you stand as you approach him. And if you're a little bit too far to the left, he seems to rotate, and then you get run over, and that's a huge mess. It's such a tough fight once it goes sour.
Have we got time for me to read another comment from Slade's video?
Yeah, go for it.
It's relevant. Venom Snake 4 weeks ago. This is not extreme. On hard, I had to throw at least 6 grenades to beat the boss, and he just throws 2. Possible splice detected.
I bumped the wall. I'm gonna wait here just for the sake of it. It's just safer.
Yeah.
It's such a precise room. And even, like, not even for the rank's sake, if you get an alert there, it's very tough to get rid of it, since the guard always waits near the elevator.
You could also save some time, I don't know if you know, if you played on a lower difficulty. Apparently.
Oh, jeez. Never would have guessed that.
Am I right in saying that you've never really ran the lower difficulties, Iceman? You tended to stick to extreme and extensions.
Yeah, I've only done maybe 3 or 4 runs of easy any %, and that's about it. That's as far as it goes. Occasionally, I race people in normal difficulty. For example, Lucas TTV is a good mate of mine from Australia. We've raced each other in normal before, and it's amazing how much how many strats change between difficulties. Just subtle stuff that you can improve times on the easy difficulties because of different methods and approaches you can do.
To me, that's one of the big joys of the game, is that every single difficulty has its own quirks and different rule sets, and you'll use different weapons and pick up different items in places to make it optimal. I've always found that so interesting about Metal Gear in general.
It's a ghost.
A good example right now off the top of my head is the Raven fight later on at the end of the game. On easy and normal, you can actually save up enough rations and just tank all the hits and throw grenades at his feet. I just stand there right in front of him. And it's a viable strat that works on those difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do the any % category, it even saves you time from having to pick up the Nikita missile launcher.
Now, make me feel it. Make me feel alive again.
It's worth noting that you can press X during your punch kick animation to cancel the animation altogether. So you'll see Snake's leg just spinning all over the place sometimes when I do it. It just allows me to run sooner.
How difficult would you say kicking up is?
Pretty difficult. I wouldn't recommend doing it unless you know how to play the game or are pretty experienced with it. Purely for the fact that it's easy to crouch or cancel it too early and not get the kick in. And if you crouch, then you're in a bit of trouble. Stop going upwards, please. It isn't overly necessary, but the more time I get to run around, the safer I feel. And funny enough, it doesn't work in the liquid hand-to-hand fight. That section is programmed differently to the rest, so it won't allow you to do it.
Oh, interesting.
again. I did not know that.
Oops. Yeah, there you go. So you see me not pressing X too early. Again, it's not needed for this fight in the slightest, but I just like to do it because it just helps. Yeah, the sooner I can run away from danger, the better.
I've been waiting for this pain.
Plus, it looks really cool, which is important too.
Yeah, like
Yes.
you can do roundhouse kicks with it. I'll example in a second. So like, oops. Supposed to be dragging him upwards, but I'm too busy doing roundhouse.
I'm enjoying it anyway, so.
Do you remember, Snake? The feel of battle. The clashing of bone and
There's just something about it. I'll go upwards. He's just not behaving.
that's good.
What's your favourite voice translation for this game?
Like translation between languages or just conversation?
Voiceover for bosses and stuff. My favourite's French, personally.
I do like the French one. I remember watching a stream in French back in 2018, and just hearing Liquid talk was hilarious to me.
Yeah.
The German one's kind of... It's got some fun aspects to it as well. I've actually got the German version downloaded at the moment. But yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. The French version is pretty
Fantastic
good.
ninja, by the
Yeah,
way.
it's so clean.
That was so good.
Just casually having a conversation with you guys. It's alright.
I mean, you're used to talking while doing these sections, right? Because you stream this game a lot.
Yeah, I read chat and have conversations with people. Oops. I don't know, like... It's good to do it on Twitch. But yeah, I normally just have a chat with someone. I don't think I've ever run this game properly without being on Twitch. Like there's never a time where I'm just sitting there, I'm like, oh, I'm just going to play it by myself and put maximum concentration into it. Not that it would make too much of a difference, because I still put probably 90% into the game, but every now and then I like glance over and read chat or have a conversation with someone.
I genuinely wasn't sure if my stream crashed or that was the loading screen. I was just kind of looking at it nervously, like, oh, do I have to fix this?
PlayStation 1 loads, baby.
Hey, in
You gotta love 'em.
in 1998, we were just sat staring at that loading screen with our jaw to the floor.
It's the best thing ever.
What
I remember... Sorry?
Yeah, what I was just gonna say, what a ridiculously good game that has really stood clear for 22 years. I mean, it really does stand up, in my opinion. I genuinely think it's one of the best games ever made.
Yeah, it's my favourite overall. I love to play it.
This one's a great game.
I was going to mention my version as a kid. The not the cargo elevator, the communication tower B elevator. Just after defeating the 4 horsemen, it used to always crash there as it cuts to him going and like pans down. And all you can hear is just the elevator just going back and forth humming, and it wouldn't load. And it just...
Oh no.
It hurt my feelings. And then one day it stopped doing that. I don't know why. I didn't change anything. Didn't clean the disc. It just stopped doing it one day.
Something I'm curious about, when Slade went for Meryl, he fired his SOCOM, but you didn't.
Don't
What
move.
did he fire it for?
It alerts her quicker, but it still takes the same amount of time to run there, so it's probably just for show, I guess.
Oh, okay.
But shooting the gun will alert Meryl and make her run towards the bathrooms
Okay,
quicker,
let's go.
but since
I know this
you've
place
still got to
better
pick up
than
the
you.
cardboard box, it's the same
I'll be
time,
point man.
regardless.
Follow me.
I love that she says, I'll be point man, follow me, and it's
That's
literally
strange.
just down the
There's
corridor.
no guard.
What happened to the
She
music?
could have just been like, it's over there, and
I'll keep a
pointed.
lookout. Make sure you're ready, okay?
Alright, I can't wait for this fight. Sadly, there's not a lot of things you can change with the Mantis fight. It's a very linear fight, I guess. All you can do is change the location that you stand when you shoot them, and that's pretty much just personal preference, really.
Now, do you do 2 controllers for this fight, or do you replug the first one?
I do 2 controllers.
Yeah. I know lots of people have different preferences for how they do this.
Yeah, there was one point when I didn't have 2. Well, I had 2, but like one of them was D-pad only. It didn't have the dual shock, and so I'd have that as the second controller. And when I'd swap over, I'd be like, "Oh, where's my analog sticks?" and get a bit confuddled for a bit.
DualShock ones are becoming increasingly more expensive, and you know, you're getting them secondhand in varying qualities. So if you have one, really look after it. At least they've learned how to maintain them as well.
Oops. Really? I gotta move.
Can't reach you.
Oops.
Gotta love when Psycho Mantis decides to dance around the arena. It's a joy.
Your control of Snake is absolutely excellent. It's not an easy game to control the character.
Yeah, it's the one thing that I've focused on the most with Mantis is because if you can shoot him before he starts, throwing stuff at you, he won't be able to throw them at you. Like in his transition from one spot to another, if you can shoot him in that phase before he stops, he won't be able to throw anything at you. And so I try and maximize that as much as possible, so there's less stuff I have to dodge on screen.
Stand right where he can see you and blow your brains out.
Movement is very important in MGS speedruns, like the series as a whole, not just this game. And focusing on good movement and getting good movement down, it's tough, but like once you get it, like you will notice your times. Like even if you're not the best at certain boss fights or other areas, if your movement's clean, you're gonna see a lot of time get saved just on that alone.
Yeah, even watching MGS2 runs where it's a matter of knowing when to cartwheel as right and when not to, just to maximize speed.
I'd say, you know, as more and more things get found, eventually huge time saves and even optimizations are going to come along less. So movement is just going to get more and more important. It's really what gives these games such a high skill ceiling. Movement in them is crazy. Really nice fight.
Yeah, very nice fight on the chair too.
It was a bit of a shame I couldn't shoot him to get the chairs there first instead of the lamps, so that's why I had to lay down.
Yeah.
And I also swapped to the FAMAS purely for the dogs here, just to make my life easier. I'd rather take that quarter-second inventory management just to not die here.
I'd say it's worth it.
Yeah.
Pretty worth it.
I'll take point. Snake, you follow me.
Very nice setup for the out of bounds. I see people losing all kinds of time trying to set that up, and it's at a really awkward angle to initially get on top of the rock.
That's why I love using the D-pad. Like, I complained earlier about
Snake,
not
what's
having
wrong?
analog for
I
the
thought you
Mantis
were good
fight,
with dogs.
but that's because I heavily rely on it for getting that like turning and accuracy. However, when I'm running normally, I love to just use the D-pad since it's more consistent on the angles.
This place is mine. I'll take
And that
point
place
again.
being a
Stay
key
back,
point of that
okay?
too, because
The radar isn't working.
I'm holding up and
Since we can't
left
use the
to
mine
approach that
detector
angle,
either.
Leave
and then
it
all
to
I do
me.
is I roll my thumb all the way around to then hold down and right. I just roll them across each button, and it seems to just line it up perfectly each time.
Personal methods for time save. Gotta love them. Everyone's got their own little thing they do to make sure they get something right.
Yeah, it really gives character to each person, to each runner as well.
So, what do you think?
It's
Pretty
nothing
good,
better
huh?
than coming
How
up
did
with
you
your
know
own
where the
little
mines were?
It sounds
little thing
weird,
or little
but when
strat
Mantis
that just,
dove into my
even if
mind,
it doesn't save
I was
time,
able
and
to
like
see
even
where
if
the
it's like the
mines were
same
placed.
time,
Are
it's
you
just like you
impressed?
feel more happy about
Well,
yourself that
a
knowing
little
that
bit.
you came up with it,
Only a
or
little?
you're the only one who does it, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe it helps you time something better. Maybe it is like, makes a somewhat difficult trick more easier for you. Everyone's
Yeah.
got their own little things that they bring when they pick up a game. Everyone's got their own like unique method of timing a trick, doing a boss fight. Might not be major, might be a very small difference. Like maybe, at the start they move a certain way to line up a shot, or they like have a setup for a specific thing. But like some people go into these games and they just go like, I'm gonna immediately straight for all the hard stuff, and that can pay off. But sometimes, that can lead to more frustration than anything. So it's nice to come up with your own methods for dealing with certain sections.
Yeah. And like, what was I thinking of? I had it in the back of my mind then, and then completely forgot. Wow, you hate to see it.
You should
I'll
never
probably
test
remember
it.
in a sec.
You should never test out a trick you only heard about in a speedrun. You're asking to have your run die on you.
I remember now. Yeah, it's one of those things where I reckon it doesn't matter how good you are, you can always learn something from anyone.
Yeah.
And
Exactly, yep.
I reckon I found a key point in that one day when I forgot to put the chaff. I've put enough hours into this game that I'd feel pretty comfortable doing a lot of things and say I'd know a lot about it, but I watched a blind run. Person was playing for the first time ever, and I learned something from him, which was incredible. And that is, even though it won't help in a speedrun sense, you can actually damage the tank's gunners with the SOCOM or FAMAS. You don't need the grenades. You can shoot the gunners with the guns, and I didn't know that until I watched a blind run do it.
I think we've seen that a lot in MGS2V. I know I go on about it a lot, but pretty much everyone on that leaderboard has come up with some certain kind of time save or idea for the run. And if you watch everyone, you're sure to pick stuff up.
It's just incredible what you can learn, really. Especially when you get to a point where you think you've peaked, and then someone else just comes along and goes, "Oh, did you know about this?" And just opens up a whole new chapter.
I mean, I still am learning things, about MGS3. Like, it's like, no matter how much I've played that game, how many runs I've watched, how long I've been around, you always learn something new. From playing through it, watching someone play it, someone do a run, learn it for the first time.
This armory is so scary.
Yes.
The strat's ridiculous.
There's even a point where you can like rotate under the lasers there to make it quicker, but I've started not doing it purely because you still have to wait for the guard in the top right corner. So if I crawl like that, it's like the timing's good, and it minimizes risk as well. But on other difficulties and other categories as well, like any percent, you can rotate under those lasers and stand up and make it a fraction quicker, about a second quicker.
Retro Andy, thanks for the raid, mate. Appreciate it.
So here's what I was mentioning earlier with the chaff. I'm going to throw it here just so I don't get shot by this camera, which is 50-50.
And so when you get to the top of the comm tower B, will you have no chaffs? So you use one there and then...
What I'll do is, because you've got to go through this snowfield twice, I won't use a chaff on the second return, giving me one at the top of the tower. Also, this is that guard I talked about that's going to look at me and not spot me. I love it.
That's so nice.
That's so clean.
I feel like every time I open your stream, you're at this point of the run. Whenever you're running Metal Gear, I've seen you do that room like 20 times. And it's great every time.
And like, you don't even have to do that because it's safer. Depends on what you consider safe, I guess. But you can flip the guard and then throw the chaff afterwards. There's no time save in doing it. It's just looks cool, and so I just chose to do it instead.
Looking cool.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's super important.
Yeah.
It's integral. Oof. That was a clean clip. Wow.
Yeah, that's 2 for 2 on being clean now.
That was so good.
I feel like the All Bosses MGS1 run has just like a tasteful amount of glitches.
Oops.
Yeah, wow, I don't see anyone do that dodge. That's so crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy precise, right? It's using lean in first person to avoid the shot from Sniper Wolf.
I
didn't even know you could do that, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I've seen him do this many times. It's so clean, and as you say, I've not really seen anyone else experiment with it. So because he's not using Tasman, after he's been in the scope for a little bit, his aim will begin to shake. So he re-equips and unequips and re-equips quite often.
Thankfully, his hand tremors here is the same time it takes for her to peak, so as soon as he stabilizes, she'll be back.
Wow, that was a good fight.
Clean, so good.
Yeah, that was so good.
I mean, I can say that fight's really hard, but it's pretty obvious from looking at it that it's difficult.
Again, in this run specifically, the key to success is consistency.
Don't move!
You have to be very consistent, and sometimes, as we saw, especially early on when Iceman took some damage in the guard rushes, consistency and being safe. You know, you gotta also adjust on the fly based on your health too.
That's like where, even though it was a challenge run, the Black Lung challenges I did, I feel like has definitely helped me in the regular run itself as well, because I had to relearn the game to try and do it as damageless as possible, and now applying those same methods here really help.
You win.
Because being a one-hit kill, it's obviously everything's on the line with no rations and everything.
In general, avoiding damage saves you time, so...
Yeah, true. So you don't have to get that stagger as well and pick up rations and everything else.
Meryl, I hope you can still look at yourself in the mirror, my friend.
We don't save Meryl. I think it's only Joe that saves Meryl. Like, you know, a few runners come along and they don't care about the time loss, they still want to save Meryl.
Yeah, it's about a 5-minute time loss, give or take.
Goes up, the higher the difficulty, right, the more time loss it is for saving Meryl. I think that's correct. You get more rounds of torture.
Yeah, so on easy you only have to do 6 rounds of torture, whereas on extreme you got to do 12.
Heck of a time loss.
Yeah.
I love how these little maggots just look like little band-aids. Where's one?
They do look like band-aids. sentient band-aids crawling around.
Just trying to help Darpa Chief, heal his wounds.
Yeah, they're crawling to try and cover up all the cuts he has. Don't want him to get infected.
If you read the story of the DARPA Chief and Decoy Octopus, that is one messed up storyline that is not surprising they pushed as much inside the game. Very, very messed up.
Yeah.
Thinking reading Decoy Octopus quickly became one of my favourite characters. I wish there was more Decoy Octopus in Metal Gear.
Yeah, like a boss battle with him or something.
Yeah.
Be creative.
Yeah, that would have been cool. You kind of get that a little bit in Metal Gear 2 with the Black Ninja. Because he starts off disguised as Madnar, and then you walk in, he's like, I tricked you. He says something along those lines. I haven't played the game in English in years.
It's kind of fun noting that every body in this game has 4 different camera angles if you crouch next to it. This one only having 2, but yeah, so like those yellow guards before the Grey Fox fight, every single one of them has about 3 to 4 camera angles, depending on what side you crouch next to them.
Oh, wow.
I had no idea. I did not
Yeah,
know
I
that.
didn't know that either.
Someone in the chat said it's rice. Yeah, I think he was having some sort of rice dish before he died and spilled that on himself.
Hey, I'm here.
Terrible way to go, wasting all that rights.
Oh, jeez. He's coming back. See you later.
Wait.
I guess it's worth noting, just for the fun of it, you don't have to stand still here. You can spin around as much as you want, it's still going to work.
Yeah, Snake is a accomplished breakdancer. Oh, that guy looks dead. He appears to be head spinning on the ground.
Nice. So that's what I mean, like if your legs aren't behind him, it still forces the alert.
Very
Since I was
interesting.
facing downwards.
Now make sure to get rid of that bomb, man.
Yeah, gotta get rid of that bomb. Better watch out.
Toss it. Get rid of the bomb. Don't want it to go off.
Jeez. Some characters on this internet, I tell you. So yeah, this is where I'd usually use another chaff, which is why I end up with 0 in the comm tower, but lately I've been thinking about it more. Since my life regenerates for the roper pal, I might just save the chaff and take the risk. What am I doing?
Jaguar King, thanks for the raid, mate.
I might get shot in now because of that. I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy thinking it was like the start of the tank where you go on an angle, and as soon as I didn't see the tank treads, I'm like, oh, hold on. I'm going straight into a landmine here.
See, on the fly thinking. You gotta strategize on the fly. It's very important.
What was that noise?
God, that's so good.
Wow, we got a time for a quick comment from Slade's YouTube video.
Yeah, sure.
Go for it.
Will Huberty 1 year ago. He missed the ration in Baker's room and the exit of the Psycho Mantis fight. So just in case anyone wants to know, you can get rations there. He is correct.
Yeah.
Wonder why he missed them,
he's,
though.
he's also incorrect though, because rations don't spawn on extreme.
There's a lot to analyze there, but he also literally stands in front of the rations in the cell fight and doesn't pick them up. Like, I think he picks up one when he's trying to pick up an
Yeah,
ammo pack.
he picks up one when he's going for ammo. 3 for 3. That was. Man, that looks so good.
Yeah, there isn't that many people who can just set that clip up like that. A lot of people, I see most of the time I see people do that. They struggle to get the first position and then move the box into the wall.
See a lot of the shimmy. The box in that corner.
Yeah, I used to be terrified of that glitch, and for the longest time I never did it because I was just like, oh, it's just way too much work. But I put in a couple of, I wouldn't say a couple of hours, that's a bit too excessive. I put in, maybe half an hour of just testing out different kind of like approaches and stuff, and through time and obviously multiple runs, it's just come a bit more natural. I still messed up from time to time. It is a tricky setup, but it's great when you get it clean.
Now it's everyone's favorite section.
I honestly adore this section of the game.
Gonna have to make sure that we are dealing with these guards appropriately. They can do some damage during this part.
Whoops, that's not good.
If you're more against, I think I'm correct in saying, if you're more against the wall, you're less likely to get shot by the gun, but it's faster to be against the rail to actually physically climb. Nice, I love seeing that.
Oh, that
he
was
grabs
so
one
good.
guard to avoid the shot, he uses him as a shield. I saw Plywood do that GDQ as well, it's exceptional. Here comes Usain Bolt guard.
Not anymore.
Fastest guard on earth.
Oops. There we go. Throw a stun just to be safe. Yeah, I messed up the order there when I landed against the wall next to the level 6 door, and it kind of put me a bit out of whack there, but good recovery.
Am I right in saying the staircase is just loaded repeatedly, so how you travel up it can affect the way the guards spawn in slight ways?
Yeah, even throwing stun grenades at certain areas can make more guards spawn in front of you. Not the ones standing still, they're always scripted, but the ones that run at you, like that last guard, they're all dependent on like how fast you go up, how many stuns you've thrown, and to be more specific, I guess, it's how many guards you actually have loaded in the screen at a time. So all of them are actually behind me there. But if one of them despawns, it's going to spawn another one in front of me, which can happen if you throw a stun grenade.
Now the rappel, extremely difficult part of the run. And as he said earlier, whatever health you get to the bottom of this rappel with is going to be your health, essentially for the rest of the game.
Yep.
Don't mind me doing this. Okay. That's beautiful. That's
Oh no. Time didn't want to cooperate. Oh my goodness. Come on, Liquid.
That's fine.
no.
Give it another try, it was a rough start.
What's wrong? Snake!
I wasn't holding down
Very
properly
rude.
there on my second jump, so he didn't go down, he just went right instead. It's too much. Take it.
The steam does a lot less damage than the shots from behind, right?
Yeah, I'd rather get hit by the steam than anything.
Did everything to avoid that. That was so close. That
Wow,
was so close.
that was scary.
Yeah, the walkway, the next section, that's undergone all kinds of changes on different difficulties, right? Like, it's got to be super precise and clever to avoid getting hit. And also,
Yeah, this is the section I mentioned on Japanese.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Fire an extra shot.
oh, so they fired 3 on Integral and 2 on NTSC.
Yeah, they fire a shot extra each, which is a pain. Just throw it earlier. Oh, again? Thank you. I didn't have enough bullets. Eat that.
Wow. That was awesome. That was so good.
How did they not hit you?
The backup was so real.
Oh my god. That was insane.
I can't go over that. That
Holy
was so
shit.
good.
Yeah, I was used to the I'm used to the NTSC version where they shoot less bullets. So it put me a bit out of whack there. No real excuse to it, because I could have used the PSG1 method or other methods, but I'm impressed with myself getting through that last bit with the backup.
You just wanted to
I'll be
show
honest.
off some strats, some guard dodging, which really is not easy in this game. It's really, really not easy.
I still have that ration, but I'd rather not use it now and save it for the hind D, which I shouldn't take damage, but who knows? The game's a mixed bag sometimes.
Hindy's a little tricky.
We're gonna end up with 2 chakra nodes here. I don't know where I missed one. Oh, yeah. When we did the tank strat at the very start and I died there, they've respawned the chakra node. That's why. And then because we didn't have to wait for the guards, just ran straight to the elevator. That makes sense. I've got a habit of grabbing this extra stinger launcher pack over here, especially when you're low on health, because more will spawn in the fight, but you've got to really expose yourself to the gunfire to pick it up, and I'd rather play it a little bit safer by just picking up that up there, extra 2 seconds.
This is another fight I just love to watch. I live vicariously through watching people do the hind.
Oh, it's gonna be here.
Yeah, this fight is intense. Very nice shot.
Really? course he's going to go backwards. No, that's a bit of a shame. He started flying backwards there, and so I would have eventually got shot trying to do that method of just shooting him. That's fine, I can get 3 shots in here. Oh, okay, help yourself.
You couldn't tell, this fight's tough.
Yeah, sometimes in the second phase there, after the first missile attack, you can get him stuck above you, where if you keep shooting him just after his iframes go away, you can just keep him there hovering above, but every now and then he might start flying backwards, and if he gets back far enough, he can start hitting you again, and that's what I started fearing, so I decided to play a little bit safer there at the end.
I think that's my favourite fight in the whole game. Not to do myself because it's ridiculously hard, but to watch is fantastic.
Just casually, I love doing the Raven fight at the end, but just because of you can kill him with every weapon you've acquired. There's so many different ways you can approach it, but the speedrun method just shows you how silly it really can be at the same time.
Yeah, the speedrun method for Raven is pretty cheese, but I think MGS3 is like just every single boss there's a cheese method. In this game you really have to like think on your feet for a lot of fights.
Yeah, you've always got to have like backups for everything in case they do something silly.
Ninja's a good example, I think.
Yeah, always be like one step ahead of them. I move away from the front of the elevator there because it actually lags on the PS1 version for some reason. So that's why it's leaning against the wall, because it increases the frame rate for some odd reason.
Too late, Snake. Now die.
Oh no, they got you in Ultra Box. Which was the original name of Four Horsemen of Metal Gear 2. The boss was called Ultra Box.
Jeez. Four Horsemen of Metal Gear Solid 2. Where's that again?
Metal Gear 2 on the MSI.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. I was thinking of MGS. I'm like, oh, what do you mean?
Yeah, Mini is literally dying inside that you think Metal Gear 2 is Metal Gear Solid 2. It's killing him.
It pains me.
It's like
every time someone
pain.
makes that, mistake, I hurt.
I remember when I first joined the MGSR Discord and I said that I do that, and people were like, we don't do that here. But you really do trivialize that that fight, and it's so ridiculously hard.
Yeah, the Four Horsemen and the cargo elevator fights are really difficult.
I'd say the cargo is definitely the one that's hardest for me, even with these like methods that we've all come up with. Really? Okay. She's decided to backtrack.
She went back a lot. What the hell?
She's even moved. I'm gonna miss this. Come on.
Skill. That was ridiculous.
What a shot, yeah.
Nice. Oh, decided to like not lock on after that. I should have shot another missile to be honest, but that's fine.
She's very rude today.
Yeah, this fight is so ridiculously RNG heavy. Least cooperative too.
Really?
So when he goes into first person, he's shifting his body weight so he doesn't get hit by leaning.
Oh my god, press square. This is the worst I've ever done.
And if he gets
no,
hit, he's dead.
one hit away.
Wow. Okay. Fuck. Come here.
She is not being nice. There
Oh,
we
he
go.
did
That one. I hit.
There we
Did
go.
so much with so little. That was awesome to watch. She really gave you nothing.
Like I kept facing to the right, and then she kept peeking to the left. I'm like, all right, I'm going to aim to the left now, and then she peeks from the right where I was previously aiming from. I'm like, can't win. So you're going to see the lovely blast furnace strat that people have come up with here. Assuming I can get it right.
Very nice disc swap, by the way.
Just waiting for it. There we go. Oops, really?
Give me a stream ended.
Okay.
I think it's fair.
Discord decided I wasn't streaming in that disc swap.
Are you sure everyone in the chat, the stream has not ended? We'll be back.
Oh, really? It's a bit of a shame. I was supposed to kill him there, but I was off angle. That's fine. What people usually do there is they throw a stun grenade just right, so it stops on one side of the door, and when the door shuts, it can explode without causing an alert. And then before that guard gets knocked out, you want to kill him with a SOCOM. It's 3 bullets. We can kill him with any gun. People use the PSG one sometimes for consistency. But you want to kill him, then you can use a grenade, Nikita, or a stinger to blow up the crane here. And that's the whole reason why we do it, is to avoid RNG with the crane. And after that, you can time a well-timed, perfectly timed grenade here with this dude, and head down here with no dramas.
So, why'd you not blow up the crane?
I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy trying to kill the guard, and when I missed, I thought, because I heard him go, huh? And I thought he was still standing, but when I looked over there, he wasn't, sadly.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
So
my fault there.
You get one chance to do it, essentially, when that stun grenade goes off.
Yeah, you've got to do it while the guard's knocked out, otherwise it causes an alert.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, this area is hard. Like,
Notorious.
this is difficult.
The cargo fight is absolutely notorious.
Should have had that equipped.
Very
Nice
clean
throws.
recovery.
Get him out of there.
Now I wonder if I'll have the same luck that Slade did with the camera here.
Only one way to find out.
Yes, love to see it.
Very nice.
Now with the Raven fight coming up, the technique is identical, but the position that I stand on is slightly different, just to save 2 seconds, I guess. It's a little trickier to pull off because you have to be really quick with the setup, but if you can get it, it's like 2 second time save, which sounds like nothing, but sometimes it can mean all the difference. And I've also got exactly enough Nikita ammo for it too, because I wasted one in the power room by hitting the wall.
Oh yeah, that's right. I almost forgot about that.
Raven really does get bullied in Metal Gear Solid 1 speedrunning. I nearly said Metal Gear 1, by the
He definitely does get bullied though. He often is stuck in place, just getting exploded. Or in the case of Twin Snakes, where you just lie down and shoot him a bunch.
Yeah, he just walks
Can't
towards
hit
you without being able to hit you. On PC, you're invincible. On console, like, you can just stand behind the container and Nikita him. He truly gets cheesed in Metal Gear 1, Metal Gear Solid 1 speedrunning. See, nearly did it again.
Gotta be very careful.
You're about to see just how versatile chaff grenades can be in this game. With this one guard that we mentioned back on Slade's run.
The lone guard, the big boss ender.
Yeah, I got tired of his stuff, so I started making up strats and putting other people's stuff together to try and figure out how to get past him without getting an alert. And I'm gonna tell you, there's a couple of good ones out there that should not work, but they do. It's hard to tell who's worse between the guard earlier in the nuclear storage room or this guard, but it's something amazing about this game.
So many different approaches to the same thing. This is a common theme among a lot of Metal Gear speedruns, actually.
This one goes for ages. It's a lengthy one. I think Colonel even butts in for a bit too. There he is. It's not the longest, far from it, but it's the longest one you have with Otacon, pretty much.
I always say if Naomi Hunt is in a codec, it's going to be a long one.
Oh, watch out. So here comes the glorious strat.
Wow.
That's so good.
That was so good.
That's ridiculous. He's looking right at you.
Yeah.
Does he go to alert and then the chaff goes off and he doesn't alert?
I'm not sure. Like, well, I have a bit of an idea when I'm watching a radar. His body turns, but his actual cone of vision doesn't turn with it at the same time. So I think his vision actually is delayed by his body movements, and that's why it seems to work and look funny.
It was great. I've genuinely never seen that before.
Yeah, I've never seen that at all. That was so cool.
Thanks for blessing the stream with that one.
I can show you another one that's probably even worse than that.
Yeah, we want more.
Give us more. Everyone's learning this stream.
On my way back after getting this power card, I'll show you another method that's very similar to that. It uses noise to distract him, but I'm not even going to throw anything at all. I'm going to use the ground to alert him. And then, assuming I can do it right, we're just going to run right around him. And I just got tired of losing big boss ranks there on that dude, so I put a bit of effort in there and just borrowed people's ideas and expanded upon them on myself. Yeah.
Not bad.
Solid, solid.
Just get away from that vent, please, sir. Oh, okay.
Oh, unfortunate.
Oh no.
Help yourself. It's alright.
I love that this like highly trained stealth agent is running around chasing a rat with an anti-aircraft gun.
I'm gonna wait a bit here because he does get alerted by the noise, and he'll jump back into the vent sometimes. But you know, why call an exterminator? We can send a $20,000 payload into him.
Exactly.
Sometimes multiple.
Think about it. The missile guarantees he's gone. He ain't surviving that. It's a guarantee.
So this should work. It's not as consistent as the chaff, but it definitely is pretty funny sometimes if you get it just right.
Oh my god.
That was unreal.
That was so cool. Wow.
If you're going for the rank, I wouldn't recommend doing it, but you know.
Yeah, I think did it cause an alert just as you hit the door?
It made the noise, but it doesn't count.
Yeah, the music has to play for the alert to count.
Right.
And that's common, even with the chaff strat. Sometimes he can make that noise. It just depends on how close to him you make the noise, because the further up you make the noise, the further he's going to walk towards to investigate it, and he's going to be further away. But you can't go too far, because otherwise he'll turn and spot you. So it's kind of like a certain area that's like a grey zone that really works.
That's still so cool.
Another cool thing about it too is once he actually reaches the point to investigate it and stops moving, you can stop spamming the button to cancel your animation, and you can make all the noise in the world you want, and he's not going to notice. So you can equip the chaff again and get the speed back.
That's good. So now everyone's favorite part. Heating up them cards. Or in this case, cooling it, but, you know, same thing.
Yeah, I think previous methods people used to just watch a timer because it does take 60 seconds for it to change. But with the modern kind of technology, not even tech, just modern ideas people have had, is to use the music in the background instead. And so in this section, I listen out for that harp or violin that's playing now. It plays 4 notes, and it's this 3 times. It's like ba da da da, and it does that 3 times, of course. And on the 3rd time, 2nd note, the card changes temperature, so the noise it's making now.
Ooh, audio cues. Very important. Yeah, I know some people, when they go into this screen, they will, you know, like, right when the timer could start, that's when they'll hit their... They might, like, you know, use their actual timer, live split, or whatever split program they're using, and right when they enter, just go so that they can look at the time and then just count the full minute.
Yeah, I look up at the timer when I enter the room, and then I wait an extra 5 seconds anyway, and then I still check the card. It's like, I don't trust it.
I check the hot card because
That's the
amount of
farthest away. Yeah.
Yeah. Thankfully, with the hot card, there's a codec call that you can only receive once the card is hot on the elevator. So if you don't get that codec call, then you're going to make that embarrassing trip back up. So you don't have to go too far, but still, those elevators are lengthy. I don't really like waiting for them.
That's another thing I didn't know. I didn't know that. And I have seen people go all the way to the Palki room with the wrong card. So that is pretty decent information. Here we go. Oh my god.
It's so, every time, it's so good.
So clean.
Honestly, I find that the chaff one more consistent than anything. Here's a little thing that D-Limes has found out once. If you have no weapon equipped here and hold left, you can run in front of this camera and save a bit of time. You can also do it on the power version, but I never actually learnt that. I only know the blue card. But that's a little cheeky strat that D-Limes came up with.
Yeah, it saves a lot of time because previously in any percent, or when you're not going for big boss, people would just take the alert and run out the door, and then you'd have to wait for the animation of the door closing. So it is a really good find.
I just find it funny how it's just so simple for the blue card, and even more so that having a weapon equipped makes all the difference. But yeah, it's a great little trick, and plus it kind of looks cool. If people understand how the cameras work, you can definitely see it's looking directly at us and not spotting us.
Yeah, we have mentioned previously, but Snake moves faster with a weapon equipped, so you always see us holding a weapon out when we're running this game. I want to say, just off the top of my head, it's like, in fact I don't want to say because I'm going to get it wrong. I'm not sure exactly how much faster it is. It is faster though.
5%.
I was going to say way more than that, so I'm so glad I didn't say it.
It also depends on which weapon you have out. I believe grenades are the fastest, and then I think it's like handguns.
I put a test
Second.
to that, and they're actually all the same, believe it or not.
Oh, are they really? Oh, wow.
I used the area where you fight Sniper Wolf 1. I tested running from one side to the other, and then synced them all up frame by frame in Premiere Pro. and they all ended up at the same spot at the exact same frame, with the exception of C4.
C4,
The C4, every 15 seconds, the C4 runs 1 frame slower than the rest.
Interesting.
If we've got time and you think it's appropriate, I'm going to read one last comment from Slade's YouTube video.
Yeah,
Go for it.
Go for it.
Okay, so this comment is from Slade's YouTube video on the original run that we watched. And it's a little bit long because there's a reply to it that makes it even better. But I'll try my best. So a gentleman wrote 1 year ago, "Amazing. I didn't like that cheats that you use, but well played." And a gentleman replied, "Well, while he didn't actually use cheats, that's not to say he didn't cheat. Can't skip codec conversations that fast with a normal controller. Also can't avoid the cutscene transitions. The perfectly timed punches to get Liquid to not move, while possible without, is very difficult to pull off with this kind of consistency. He's using a turbo controller, or a variable speed turbo button to do at least some of these things, possibly with an emulator. He also glitched Raven, though that's not particularly difficult. He also did a wall clipping shortcut in the cave. This guy knows the game so well, I don't think it would have mattered a whole lot. What he did just makes things a bit more predictable." Which, again, we could do a whole.
He's got some whole
episode
thesis.
about, yeah, we could do a whole episode of analysis on what exactly was wrong with those two comments. But I hope you enjoyed them all the same. And if you want
Lots to unpack there.
yeah, if you want to hate yourself, just go on Slade's original video. I'll post it again, just for the original episode we watched on this Legacy show. And yeah, if you want some serious headache material, read the comments.
Remember to go give MG Slade subscription on YouTube if you haven't already, and to give Iceman here a follow on Twitch if you haven't already.
Really? Bit of vaporized water, just deleted Snake.
Yeah, please give Iceman a follow. Really, really great streamer. I was going to say MGS1 streamer, but he does a whole lot of different things. Really is excellent.
I'd say PS1 is kind of my thing.
Original hardware type stuff.
Yeah, the amount of copies of MGS I have is ridiculous. My last Twitter post has like 6 of them in the fucking photo. I keep swearing. I don't know if you prefer swearing on here or not. I don't know. It's a habit of mine, I'm sorry.
It's okay. No worries. This is an Australian server. You were banned for not swearing enough.
Really? Yeah, like my last Twitter post was just like, oh, I'll take a photo of all my little classic games. I got like 3 or 4 PS1s down there, and then in between them all is 2 integral copies, 2 NTSC copies, a PAL, a regular Japanese, and the Legacy collection all just chilling there. I'm like, oh yeah, just 7 copies of MGS1, casual.
Yeah, I've only got 1 copy of MGS1 myself, integral.
I didn't mean to have so many, but when I see them on eBay for like dirt cheap, I have to get them.
Fair enough, man.
They sell for like $100 here minimum. So if I find them for like $20, I'm taking them. Oh, good camera. Slade's luck is here today.
Another one to watch out for is PS TVs, because they are just crazy fluctuating in price and going up at the moment.
Yes. I, in fact, have one from before they jumped in price. I got mine for like 60.
Yeah, I got mine for like
that.
the equivalent of $60, which is really decent because they're like double that now. And if they're cheap, they're probably cheap for a reason at the moment, so you know, avoid that.
Buy low, sell high with the PSTV.
Just make profit selling PSTVs on eBay or something.
Yeah, I don't know what the cause and the increase in price of them is. I'm not sure what the deal with that is, but
I don't know why people would want to buy them outside of running games. Like, they don't really.
They're not great, are they? They're not great.
Like, if you'd be better off just getting a PS Vita. They're the exact same thing, except one's portable.
Yeah, my entire philosophy behind buying it was it play MGS fast, lol. That was it. And I bought it, I put Integral on it, and I've done nothing else with it.
See, mine was for portable ops.
Nah, fair.
But I had gotten it in that weird era where like it wasn't whitelisted at the time. Like for some reason you just couldn't play it on there, even though it was like you could purchase it, you could download it, but for some reason you couldn't play it. And then it like out of the blue in like I think 2018, some like staff member of Konami just tweeted out like, "Hey, it works on PS TV now. We fixed it." We're like, "What? Okay."
Does it control better on PS TV?
No.
I appreciate you got that.
Well, the only thing is that the PS TV input delay is pretty bad on portable ops.
Yeah, it's something you really have to respect with Metal Gear Solid 1 as well. If you're playing this game on maybe the PS1 or the emulator or something like that, and you want to, you know, get faster loads and put out competitive times, it's more difficult in some areas. I'd say particularly the liquid fight is way more difficult on PS TV than it is on, for example, emulator or PC or original hardware. There is definitely...
Yeah, you got to adjust the tempo and everything.
It just deletes your inputs sometimes, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, my experience with the PS TV is that the first boss of portable ops, Python, there's a strat where you, right as the fight begins, you hold the inventory button and equip the Mosin Nagant, and then shoot him as he's running towards you. And on PS TV, you have to basically, it's like impossible. I've tried like holding down the inventory button, the input just doesn't register fast enough.
That was ridiculous that you got that strat every single time.
Yeah, I know. So good.
Oh no, you seem to have activated a Metal Gear.
Oh, whoops. Better delete it. My experiences with the PS TV are still negative. Thanks to the huge help again, I still can't appreciate them enough of D-Limes and Raichu for helping me out with whatever they could with it. Raichu being the one to lend me his, and D-Limes helping out with splitters and stuff. But I couldn't get the thing to record no matter what I did, and I have no clue how to fix that. I can't record the PS TV. No matter what I've tried. I've gone through like 8 different splitters, ones that have been sent by other people who claim that they've worked, or from people that have them working as well. It's just, I can't win with it, with the device. I really can't. I still use it.
Very strange.
They had when I took my PS TV to ESA to run MGS1.
Yeah.
The guy who was doing Stream 2, Lever, took about 10 minutes to get it working. He just kept pulling out different bits of equipment and plugging it into different things. And he was like, "How do I get he said something like, "How do I get rid of something?" And I was like, I have no idea, mate. And my capture card just does it automatically. I felt really bad for him, but like, I'm so bad with tech that I had no idea how to help him.
Oops. I do have a method that I haven't tested yet, and I reckon it has to work. There's no reason why it shouldn't. Is to convert the HDMI to AV, and that should get rid of HDCP. Of course, it's going to come out looking like a PS1, but it is a PS1 game, so who cares?
Yeah.
I haven't tested it yet because I can't find a cheap cable here that does that. They're all like $50 or something ridiculous, but I reckon that's like the last resort. That should work. I can't see it not working.
Or recording the screen with your phone.
Yeah, just
100% guaranteed way to break the protection.
Somebody didn't think of that one.
I love the dodges in first person.
Yeah, they're so good.
Help yourself.
And of course, we are on the NTSC copy. Oh no, we're not. Ignore me. What am I saying? Honestly,
NTSCJ.
we're on Integral.
Yeah.
Man, I
So we
wish I
don't
was
have
on
to-
NTSC.
So we don't have to watch
Wouldn't have. Sorry.
a cutscene that we saw earlier. Honestly, just ignore me. Just mute me.
Just got like mad spamming.
This gentleman is one of my favorite characters in the game.
I am the Secretary of Defense, Jim Houseman. Oh, you're skipping that.
If you win, you might still be able to save her. You could enjoy one brief moment of love before the end. If you cross this line, you fall. At this height, it will kill even you.
And on extreme, it genuinely will kill you.
You'll find out in a second when I make a mistake.
How about you, Snake?
Oh, game.
What's wrong, Snake?
Great recovery. Really
Excellent
great
recovery, though. Excellent recovery.
As soon as I threw that like single punch, I'm like, oh, here we go. This is how it's gonna be.
And of course, it's worth saying that like absolutely no one who does liquid like that uses a turbo controller. A turbo controller would make it impossible to do that fight.
Yeah. Turbo does not help.
Darn, no keys. I got him. Let's go.
Just setting up the guard seat.
Yep.
That's so funny.
I got it.
That's so funny. I've never seen that before.
Snake, hold on.
That's so good.
That's good.
Just gonna get them out of the way.
That's what I really like about your runs is you really do see a lot of different things that no one else does stuff like that.
Uh-oh, Snake.
Shooting the barrel would be nice, Snake.
Damn.
Yeah, eventually.
Good job, Snake. Let's go.
Although I'm gonna mess it up at the next checkpoint, it's been damageless so far for the Jeep chase.
Let's go. Is that
This
why
is the
you
one where
know
it'll
that
be-
we had set up?
Here they come.
Because of doing damageless runs.
Damn. You can't
Yeah, just
Snake, you gotta clear a path.
Oi! It helps with damages, I feel, on my ends, but I originally did it because I thought you could save time, because if you get the guard out of the way, you can shoot the barrels quicker. But I ended up doing a comparison one day, and it turns out that both Otacon and Merrill won't drive the Jeep until a certain time has passed. And the little time at the top right in the warning, they won't leave until it's 9:34.35 or something like that. So no matter how quick you do that section, you can't leave. Nice.
extremely technical part of the most damage to liquid. It's very, very tricky.
Yeah. Yeah, like we mentioned in Slade's Run, a lot of people think, oh, this is, whatever, basically an auto-scroller, this part's easy, but, like, there is a lot going on in this fight.
One more in
person.
Last one. Catch him, man.
There you go. GG.
Really nice run, Iceman. Just in case
Nicely
you don't,
done.
please will you mute your game sound during the credits?
Yeah, I can do that. If I didn't die, there's like 4 times, this would have been a 139 or a 138.
It really was like, it's easy to make mistakes. It's a very difficult run. Obviously, I mentioned before, but Iceman's Australian. He's not running at a very appropriate time for him. We started at 6 a.m. his time, so I do want to say thank you for doing this. We really wanted you to come and run MGS1 for this episode, and you've shown us some amazing stuff, taught us a lot about the game. Having your input in during Slade's run was just made it 1,000 times better. So thank you so much for doing this.
Nah, it's alright. I appreciate coming on. I had a lot of fun,
Thank you for being here.
even if it was worth the shit sleep pattern. Yeah, I mean, he was one of the people, or I'd say the only person who actually inspired me to start running this game, because up until that point, it was like my favorite game. I loved it. And then when I watched his GDQ run in 2013, his All Bosses one, I watched that back in 2013. I'm like, wow, you can do that? And so I started playing. I just went straight into Extreme. A dumb, silly mistake. Don't do that because it's just a head mess. But I went straight into learning Extreme, and back then there were no guides. There were no videos to make your own strats from or like follow along. So I had to just watch his run and his previous ones as well, just over and over to see what he does. And that's why you'll notice a lot of my strats are very similar to his, if not sometimes the same. And it's just because I've drawn the inspiration primarily from his runs, because back then that's all I had. So yeah, he's the one that got me into running it, and so I've been doing it since 2013. Not actively. I took like a bit of a break in between, 2015 and 2017, give or take. But that was the time that I started learning it. Was just after his GDQ run in 2013.
I think you are an extremely unique looking player. I've said that multiple times. One of the most unique MGS runners, and you're also probably one of the most disciplined as well, because you're not going to go onto the faster hardware with everyone else. You're going to stay on the same copy as Slade, and like, the difference between load times don't really matter to you. It's more about the actual what's happening on the screen, the gameplay.
The raw gameplay.
Yeah, and I made that my goal back then. Was like, he did like a 138. Well, no, I can't remember what he did for his GDQ run. It was like a one. It was a good time. And eventually, that's when I found his better time. I'm like, oh, it was like a 130 something. And I'm like, oh, that's really good. And so I started working towards that. And that was my primary goal, was to just beat that time. And back then, I only had the PAL version. So obviously, I wasn't going to do it. But I started learning on the PAL version. Eventually, made my way to getting an NTSC PS1 and then an NTSC copy of the game. And ever since then, I've just wanted to be able to beat his time under the same circumstances, which right now, given that I still can't get the PSTV to work on my end, which honestly, it frustrates me to the point of I can't even explain, but I've gone back and I'm now doing PS1 runs properly, and I'm going to make it my goal right now, well, proper goal at least is now that I'm free from everything else. I'm going to start working towards beating his 138.36 that he did today under the same conditions, which I reckon's possible, but we're talking like a pretty good run, exceptionally good.
Yeah,
I think you're capable of doing that, and I think you will
very capable.
be able to achieve that goal. It'd be awesome to see that as well.
Yeah, it'll be good to get it, and then I'll hopefully have it recorded, more than likely streamed, and chuck it up on the website. And then after that, I can focus on figuring out this console, PSTV. And even if I have to take your suggestion and put a Sony webcam watching it, the TV that I'm playing off of, I don't care. We're going to get them done.
That was my first way of recording it. I used to use an iPad because I didn't have a HD capture card. So I just used to set up my iPad and point it at the screen to record it. I also used, and this looked horrendous, but I used a normal capture card with a HDMI, to switch it to HDMI.
Yeah.
But like using a composite capture card, and it comes out looking really rough, but it was like just good enough to verify. I've had a time with Metal Gear Solid 1 speedrunning.
It's a great game, and it's on like so many platforms. You got the PC version, PS3, PS2. Well, I guess it's just PS1, but then you can get it on the PS Vita, I believe, too. You can go around, be on the bus and play it on there. Yeah, it's great.
You can
play it on the PSP, right? And there was some discussion that it might load faster on it, but it's really awkward to play on it as well. It's missing.
Yeah, because it's got no R2 buttons.
Yeah.
Who knows what things people will do to get the game to load faster? There's not enough purists out there who just want to play it like you do. Just play on the original hardware.
I don't know, there's just something about it, and like you can just the visual aesthetic too. You can just see how dirty of a game it kind of looks graphic wise, because running on the PS1, the shadows and stuff, they're not fantastic, but I reckon, I don't know, just in my eyes it adds to it. I'm a huge fan of like the retro stuff.
So with Legacy Episode 4, we currently don't have an exact date for it because I know Minnie's got some stuff coming up. I personally have some things coming up as well, but we will get a new episode booked in soon. Obviously, that'll be on the MGSR Discord in the announcement. So if you're enjoying it, I'm sure we'll put some info about the next one as soon as we both know what we're both doing. Who knows? If you have any ideas of what you want to see, though, what kind of games you want to see, send one of us a message, post it in the chat, anything like that. We've got enough that we're not going to run out at the moment. I think we'll be continuing this through the rest of the year, definitely into next year as well. I certainly have no plans of stopping. I absolutely love doing this.
It's a lot of fun.
Just watching old runs.
Have you done MGS3 yet on Legacy? Or which ones have you done?
That was the first episode, yep.
First one.
We watched.
It's on YouTube, by the way, but we watched Kikajiro-chan's run, which was exceptional, and then Major got 3 seconds off the world record in his run afterwards, in his modern run. It was it was really nutty.
It's pretty crazy.
Jeez. There we go. 142.
Very, very nice.
4 deaths. Each death's probably about 30 seconds at minimum. So
extremely respectable. You showed off some stuff, and you had fun with it, and it was extremely educational. I enjoyed it tremendously. I always like watching you run anyway, so it was nice to be a part of it.
Thanks for having me. Like I said, it's definitely good fun. Being able to watch an old run of Slade's commentator and being able to explain how not only has it been like the inspiration to my runs, but obviously many people's runs. So, yeah.
There are plenty of people who maybe not the newer runners now, but there are plenty of people in here. If you ask them what got you into Metal Gear speedrunning, there are a lot of people who will say, "Oh, it was one of Slade's runs."
Yeah, I mean, he still has such an aura about him, like a presence. Like, yo, it's Slade. Like, he's a legend. And you can
Mm.
see from his run why he's considered like that. Or, any of his runs, like his GDQs and stuff. You can really see why he's so well respected.
Yeah, just the amount of effort that he's put in, and the years that he's been running it for. So probably knows it more than anyone else, almost, you'd say.
That's true, yep. Very knowledgeable player.
So, any final thoughts, guys?
No, I'm pretty good. Yeah, just like I said, appreciative of having me on board.
We
Yeah,
we loved having you
main
as well.
things here. Thank you for being here, Iceman. Thank you for doing the run. And stay tuned for when we announce the next episode of Legacy. Because I think, based on what we've got lined up, I think we're going to be in for a treat. So